Monty is a relief pitcher for the Hackensack Bulls, a minor league baseball team. The Bulls aren't very successful, and their home field even has train tracks running through it, forcing them to stop every time a train passes. During one game, Monty tells his best friend and catcher, Spike, that there's a man in the stands taking his pictures. The man's name is Donaldo, and Monty has noticed him at the last 3 games. This makes Monty think he might be getting scouted for the major leagues, but Spike believes he's expecting too much. Somehow, the Bulls win the game, and afterward, the team goes to a bar to celebrate. Monty and Spike meet 2 women who like the game and start flirting with them, planning to take them home. Outside the bar, Donaldo calls his boss to give an update on Monty's movements, revealing he's been tailing him for days. At that same moment, the women's boyfriends show up, furious to find them with Monty and Spike. A heated argument starts, and some of the people in the bar leave, knowing it's about to turn violent. One woman even calls the police in advance. As expected, the confrontation turns into a full-on brawl, with fists flying everywhere. Some people watch for fun, while others join in. Tables are smashed, and chairs become weapons. The next morning, Monty and Spike are in jail because of the fight. Their coach, Charlie, visits and tells them the team's management won't cover their bail. Both men worry about missing the last game of the season, but Charlie says the owners don't care about them anymore. They want to bring in younger players. Charlie reminds Monty that he's been lucky to play for 15 years, which is longer than most players manage, so he should appreciate it. Later, Monty and Spike are taken to court, where they're charged with assault and property damage. They insist they're innocent and argue with the judge, who grows irritated and sets their bail at $3,000. With no money to pay, they're about to be sent back to jail when Donaldo suddenly steps in. He says he represents someone willing to pay their bail and fines if they plead guilty. Convinced Donaldo is a scout, Monty gladly agrees. Donaldo then takes them to New York. Spike panics when they enter a corporate office building, thinking Donaldo might actually be an undercover cop who tricked them with the scout story. Donaldo explains that he never said he was a scout. He was hired by a law firm. Once inside, Monty is brought alone into a lawyer's office. They explain that they represent his great-uncle Rupert, who cut ties with the family back in 1930s and was never heard from again. It turns out Rupert became one of the wealthiest men in the country, and since he recently died, Monty is the only living heir. But the inheritance comes with strict conditions. The lawyers play a video message from Rupert. Monty is surprised to see his uncle was white, but Rupert explains his father had 2 wives, 1 white and 1 black. Rupert scolds Monty for being a failure and says he'll punish him by making him learn to hate spending money. The challenge is simple but tough. Monty has 30 days to spend $30 million. By the end of the 30 days, he can't own any assets except the clothes he's wearing. He can't destroy anything he buys just to get rid of it. And if he hires people, he must get fair value for their work. Only 5% can go to charity, only 5% can be used for gambling, and he can't give money away, including gifts. The biggest rule is that he can't tell anyone about the challenge, or he'll be disqualified. If Monty doesn't want the challenge, he can take $1 million right now and walk away. The lawyers already have it waiting in a suitcase and warn him he doesn't know how to handle money, so he should probably decline. Curious, Monty asks what happens to the rest of the fortune if he fails, and the lawyers explain the law firm will take control of it. Monty hesitates, but finally decides to try for the bigger prize. He must return in exactly 30 days at midnight with nothing left, and an employee named Angela will track his spending to make sure he follows the rules. When he leaves, Monty only tells Spike that he inherited $30 million and hires Donaldo to be his personal photographer. They visit the bank so Monty can see the money is real, and he immediately withdraws $3 million in cash. The bank manager offers accounts with interest, but Monty demands one without interest, which confuses Angela since she doesn't know the truth. Monty then asks the security guard how much he earns and offers him a much higher salary to work as his personal bodyguard. In fact, Monty ends up hiring the whole security team, since he'll be carrying so much cash. Spike is frustrated that Monty is throwing money away, but Monty insists he has everything under control. He calls Coach Charlie next, saying he'll rent the Bulls, get them new uniforms, a better bus, and pay higher salaries. Charlie thinks it's a joke and hangs up. After that, Monty hires a random taxi driver to be his personal chauffeur. Angela points out he could have rented a limousine fleet for the same money, so Monty tells the driver to set that up too. By now, a crowd is gathered around Monty and his group, so he invites them all out for lunch. They head to a luxury restaurant where he buys the most expensive wine and even pays the band to play lively music instead of classical. During the meal, Monty flirts with Angela, but she reveals she already has a fiancé. He's a lawyer busy with charity and social projects, which means he rarely has time for her. When Monty offers to pay just to meet him, Angela tells him some things can't be bought. Meanwhile, word quickly spreads across the city about an eccentric millionaire spending money in extravagant ways. When Monty arrives at the hotel, reporters surround him. He tells them he plans to employ many people and announces Spike as the vice president of his new company. Inside, the manager says the top 2 floors are already booked, but he quickly changes his mind when Monty offers to pay 10 times the rate. The group moves into the luxurious suites, and Monty and Spike rent some fine suits. That evening, Angela's fiancé, Warren, comes to pick her up. Monty uses the chance to make a donation to one of his charities. Warren admires the art and furniture in the room, showing off his knowledge of the subject. Monty is impressed and offers Warren a job as his decorator with an excellent salary. Warren accepts right away, leaving Angela upset that her fiancé can be bought so easily. The next morning, Warren asks his law firm for a month off. They agree, but make him their spy to track Monty's spending. He's told not to tell Angela. Meanwhile, Monty has packed his office with hundreds of new hires for all sorts of jobs, including an impersonator. Warren secretly calls his ex-wife Marilyn, a professional decorator who taught him everything. This makes Angela angry. Monty tries to get her attention by poking her inappropriately, and when Warren steps in, he slips and falls into all the paint buckets. Marilyn brings endless ideas, and Monty assures her there's money for them all. A man approaches Monty asking for $3 million to bring an iceberg from the North Pole to Africa for fresh water, and Monty approves it, ignoring Spike and Angela's warnings about a scam. Monty also hires someone to use the allowed 5% to gamble on horses and sports. Just then, Charlie calls, and Monty announces he'll fund his team to play against the Yankees. He even sends helicopters to pick them up. Outside the stadium, Monty greets his friends with a big welcome and new uniforms. He's even rented limousines for everyone. This and wonder if they've underestimated him. Later, Monty puts on a uniform himself and trains with his team while the news spreads word of the big game. That night, Monty brings a woman to the hotel, but just as things get intimate, Angela calls saying there's something urgent to discuss. Monty quickly sends the woman away. Spike and Angela arrive with a financial advisor, hoping he'll help Monty invest wisely. But Monty hires him on salary instead of commission and ignores his guidance. Wanting to relax, Monty and Spike play baseball, and Spike suggests investing in things like jewelry or stamps. Inspired, Monty rushes to a collector's shop and buys the world's most expensive stamp. The next day, the lawyers laugh at the news, thinking Monty made a mistake by buying an asset. But when they receive a postcard from him, they're furious to see he actually used the rare stamp to send it. They decide to reveal the truth of the challenge to Warren and ask him to create an error in Angela's accounting, promising him a big reward if they win the case. Meanwhile, Monty learns on the news that the iceberg stock has tripled, which worries him. He orders his staff to sell everything. To make matters worse, the gambler has also won all his bets. Panicked, Monty tells Angela to give it all away to charity. Marilyn completes the decoration with many new additions, but Monty pushes her to add even more. Since Warren is so busy helping Marilyn, Angela agrees to have lunch with Monty and admits she's impressed by his generosity. As they leave, a man lightly bumps their car. The damage is small, but Monty insists on taking him to the hospital and paying the bills. Once the man realizes who Monty is, he pretends to be badly injured and even convinces Monty to give him money for alimony to his 2 ex-wives. Angela snaps, yelling at Monty in public about his reckless choices. Warren watches from above as Marilyn tells him that Angela may not be the right partner, since she's embarrassing herself so openly. Later at dinner, Warren accuses Angela of being too close to Monty and questions if her feelings have changed. She gets upset and storms off. On the news, Monty is reported to have bought 5 cases of 114-year-old wine and cash at an auction. He then shares the wine with the public at a reception. Not long after, Spike and the advisor reveal they secretly invested behind Monty's back and made $10 million. Monty panics while the others are confused by his reaction. Warren interrupts, asking Monty for $20,000 as a deposit on some furniture they plan to rent. Monty gives him the money and sends everyone away so he could be alone. When he turns on the TV, he sees that the candidates for the mayor's election have been spending shocking amounts on their campaigns. Monty then decides to run as a candidate too, using the money for his own campaign. Angela believes he feels guilty about having so much money and thinks he's finally putting it toward helping people. At a press conference, Monty tells reporters not to vote for any of the candidates, not even him. Later, he goes on TV and says that all the candidates are corrupt and only fools would vote for them. He makes sure his ads air across all states in case New Yorkers are on vacation. His blunt honesty about political corruption makes him very popular. Angela keeps track of the expenses, but worries because the money is almost gone. Meanwhile, the other 2 candidates secretly meet and agree they must stop Monty, who continues mocking them on live TV. They sue him for emotional distress, and Monty happily pays the $4 million fine. Soon, the big game arrives. Monty gives his team a pep talk, telling them they can beat the Yankees. Just before the game, a train passes the field carrying more of Monty's campaign ads. Monty pitches first, and his teammate catches the ball, knocking out the first Yankee. When another batter comes up, Spike taunts him and insults his wife. The batter loses his temper and almost fights back, which gets him ejected from the field. Meanwhile, Warren goes to the furniture store and returns everything he rented, getting back the deposit money. The Bulls start strong, but the Yankees soon take control of the game. After a big home run, Charlie is forced to switch pitchers. Monty, he did well, and reminds him that just scoring against the Yankees is an achievement. He says he's proud of the team for even earning a few points. Monty still feels down and goes to the locker room to sulk. There, a Wills executive tells him that if he wins the election, his salary would count as an asset. The game ends with the Yankees winning, and Monty gives a speech congratulating them. He explains that anyone with money can buy an election, but becoming a pro athlete takes real work. Monty then drops out of the election, saying he never planned to win and that everyone missed the point. With little money left, he decides to spend it all on a party and invites everyone. That night, Angela closes the books with the balance at zero. When Monty comes to take her to the party, Angela refuses. She's disgusted by how he wasted so much money on nothing worthwhile. She storms out without hearing Monty tell her he loves her. At the party, Spike and the security guard search Donaldo's pockets and find out he's been stealing money. Monty's employees feel sorry for him and gather some cash to help. But Monty refuses it, and Donaldo quickly takes his share back. The next morning, Monty wakes up with a brutal hangover. The hotel manager reminds him it's checkout time, and workers start removing everything he rented, including his fancy clothes. Forced back into his old uniform, Monty checks the room Marilyn had finished and approves it before leaving. On his way out, the doorman tells Monty he followed his advice and voted for nobody. Later that night, the city is shocked to learn that nobody actually won the election because everyone did the same. With only 5 minutes left before midnight, Monty rushes to the lawyer's office. In the elevator, Warren hands him the deposit money back. Frustrated, Monty storms into the office and says he's ready to give up and sign the papers. From outside, Warren watches until Angela finds him and demands to know what's happening. Believing it's over, Warren tells her everything. Furious, Angela takes the ticket and runs in to expose the trick. She tries to slap Warren, but Monty stops her and punches him instead. Warren threatens to sue for assault, so Monty asks Angela to be his lawyer and hires her with the deposit money. As the clock strikes midnight, Angela quickly writes a receipt for her services, officially leaving Monty broke just in time. The will's executor then announces that Monty has won the challenge and the entire fortune. He also states that the lawyers will be investigated for fraud. Monty celebrates his win and leaves with Angela, ready to start over.